The elevator groaned as it ascended the ancient building. Emma's pulse quickened, her palms damp with sweat as she clutched her bag to her chest. The lights flickered, casting eerie shadows on the rusted panels. She glanced at her watch, its luminescent hands faintly marking midnight. Perfect timing for a nightmare to come alive. The ninth floor loomed closer, but as the elevator shuddered to a halt between floors, panic slithered into her mind. The overhead light died, plunging her into suffocating darkness. "Hello?" Her voice quivered, swallowed by the thick silence. She fumbled for her phone, its cold screen offering no solace. It had died hours before. With every breath, the air grew more oppressive, her world shrinking to the confines of the stalled elevator. She pounded on the metal door, the futile sounds echoing back, a grim reminder of her isolation. In the murky darkness, time became elusive, morphing into a relentless force tugging at her sanity. The small space reeked of grimy metal and cold perspiration. She thought of her office a mere floor away, its warm lights and familiar faces now unimaginable distances from where she was trapped. Then she heard it, a faint, almost imperceptible scratching sound behind her. Emma froze, her breath hitching. The noise grew louder, more frantic. She pressed herself against the wall, trying to merge into the metal, heart thundering in her chest. There was something in the elevator with her. Who's there?" Her whispered demand was met with silence, a silence so deep, it seemed to pulse with a life of its own. The scratching began again, this time accompanied by a low, raspy breathing. Emma's eyes darted wildly, searching the void for any sign of movement. Her mind conjured images of grotesque figures lurking just beyond her sight. Suddenly, the elevator jerked violently, causing her to gasp, then silence. She strained her ears, but the scratching had stopped. For a moment, she dared to hope that whatever was with her had vanished. But that hope was shattered when the breathing turned into a guttural whisper, chilling her to the core. "Emma!" How did it know her name? She sunk to the floor, curling into a fetal position, willing herself to disappear. The whispers grew louder, circling around her, echoing her fears. Each utterance of her name was a dagger, slicing through her resolve. The walls seemed to close in, the darkness becoming a tangible force, pressing down on her. Just as her psyche seemed close to breaking, the elevator lights flickered back on. There was nothing, no sign of anyone or anything else. The elevator shuddered and descended slowly, the doors creaking open to reveal the dimly lit corridor of the ninth floor. Emma staggered out, glancing back into the yawning dark of the elevator. With trembling steps, she moved forward, vowing never to set foot in that cursed box again. But deep inside, she knew that the darkness had taken something from her, something she might never reclaim.